Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. For no reason other than my own amusement, I did whale out and purchase Picardie on day one of the campaign. And this is the first thoughts video on Picardie here. We're in a match. It's a domination match on whatever map this is. And I got some thoughts. Originally, I was like, just what France needed, another Tier 7 premium battleship. We're on Haven. All right, look at that. We are down here. I think you're going to get a pretty good idea of what Picardie does well in this match. About my fourth match in the ship. When you have bad matches in the ship, you're going to have really bad matches. Quick look at the turrets. This thing kind of is a really bad turret arrangement, maybe more suited to stern tanking than bow tanking. Right here, you'll see we'll start to lose turrets. There we are down to 3. And then there'll be a brief moment where you have 2, and then it immediately goes to 1. So the amount of time you have 3 to 1 turret is not very much, meaning due to the turret placement, really, if you were bow tank or going bow angle toward an enemy, you're only going to have the first turret, the A turret, on target. Because that second turret, which I am very reluctant to call a B turret, is behind the superstructure. So really, shots like this, where you get one salvo off and then string out the remaining 4 turrets, that was a bad idea for Charles Martel, as you can see. First blood, couple of Citadel hits, kill number 1. So the more I played Picardie, the more it reminded me of the Nikolai. Now, why am I saying that? Well, the Nikolai has 12 guns, Picardie has 16 guns. But at the tier, Nikolai has a lot of guns. At the tier, 16 guns is a lot. To get them all on target, you're going to have to show broadside. They aren't very accurate, more meant for mid-range combat, as I was going to try to pinch that, but it was denied. You have secondaries, and don't be fooled into building into the secondaries. My first match in this ship was a secondary build, and it was so underwhelming, I immediately put Azer Lane Dunkirk in this ship, and I would not run a secondary build on Picardie. There's the Michelangelo, another pretty good salvo. He sets up his smoke screen after we got a Citadel hit there. We are reloaded and ready to fire. Again, we have to show most of our broadside to do that. But that being said, cruisers are the ships that you're going to punish the most with your low caliber main battery. In a minute here, Michelangelo is going to show his face, and then I'm going to go into WoW's, the wiki, and read some notes from the wiki, because I think they are much more illuminating than anything put out by the WoW's Legends development team in regards to the ship and its potential gameplay. And again, I have a fully maxed Azer Lane Dunkirk commander. That's who I recommend. Michelangelo back out, another full salvo on Michelangelo, and sayonara means goodbye. Another couple of Citadel hits, kill number 2. Yeah, so we're not going to get shots at Otago, so let me switch screens here while I'm just driving around. So the pros, 16 main battery guns with a good reload, check. Long main battery firing range, I think with my build, it's around 19.7 maybe, 19.2 to 19.7. Middle 2 turrets can traverse 360. Small turning circle, yes, definitely. Great concealment, yes, I would agree with that. Access to the main battery reload booster. All those are listed pros in the wiki, and I would agree with them. Cons, small hit point pool, yes. Weak armor, yes. There's no purple armor anywhere on the ship. Poor torpedo protection, yes. Small caliber guns with poor shell damage, yes. Low AP pen, yes. Terrible HE shell fire chance for the gun caliber, yes. Main battery guns have poor accuracy, absolutely yes. Poor AA defense, yes. Slow speed, yes. So basically, in a ship with no armor, you're supposed to sneak up to mid-range and unload your 16 305 millimeter guns, which may not do a whole lot of damage to the ships you were shooting at. So get used to this kind of frittering effect. So we did a full salvo out on République, or maybe 3 turrets out on République, and that's what your hit markers will look like. Not anything very great. So you're really left hunting for cruisers, and when you can get cruisers in range, of which we are not, I think we're up to 19.12 there, so maybe 19.2 is the max range with this build. Unless you can get a ship at close range, you're not going to do a lot of damage at far range because you'll see the dispersion shell grouping leaves a lot to be desired. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my commander build screen. So here's another 3 turrets at République, and I don't think I'm going to follow them all the way in, but you can see it looks like a shotgun there, and you know that it's all strung out as a pattern. And so again, there's really not a lot there. We used our main battery reload booster there, and I think I'm busy looking at Georgia. We're not going to follow those shells in. But again, it doesn't matter because République got killed, but we did get a couple of hits on them. All right, Georgia coming in here, we get a solo base cap. So judicious use of your concealment is appreciated. All right, never mind. I guess the ship we were shooting at is still alive. All right, Georgia, some more frittering hits there. Georgia doesn't have a lot of armor, so that wasn't surprising. He was shooting HE at me, which tells you he really doesn't know what he's doing because his AP probably would have just wrecked this thing. So this is the kind of thing you got to do. Pick on these weaker armored targets and turn, use your good turning to get those turrets on target and off. And then just like with the Nikolai, you're going to turn back after your main battery does every kind of hit imaginable. So use this good rudder shift to swing out, get all your turrets on target, and then swing back to protect yourself because of your terrible armor profile. And also, look at that, we're going to switch sides with the first 3 turrets, just like the Nikolai. And we are going to maybe take some more shots at République if we can, once I get free of the island. Not an ideal angle, but it really doesn't matter anyway with this ship because your main battery is kind of low caliber. We're going to shoot at other République instead, who's given us a lot better angle. And we hazard his shells pretty good. Sorry, got a message that I have to answer her. All right. So we're looking back at Georgia, and we are going to put 3 turrets out on Georgia, who is on fire, I guess. And we do enough damage to take out Georgia for our 3rd kill. All right, couple Républiques out there. So again, I guess the mid-range, you've got terrible main battery accuracy and grouping. You want to turn just like I'm turning here to get those 360-degree turrets on target. And then once you fire off your salvo there, because your rear turret has to come all the way around, unless you're protected, my advice to you is swing that tail back in to protect yourself from return fire. Your main battery salvos are going to be disappointing, like that was just part of the game when you are in a undercalibered ship. I'm not saying the ship is at the wrong tier. What I am saying is that if I were you, I would prioritize cruisers and lightly armored battleships, because if it is a heavily armored ship or an angled ship, you may find yourself not doing a lot of damage. And then, as we talked about, the HE really didn't give me any good feelings in the matches I'd used it in prior to this in terms of fire starting and stuff like that. So basically, you're going to do what I'm doing right here. You're going mostly bow on, then you're going to use that good rudder shift to get that tail out, and get those turrets on target, get the shells out there, and then if you're targeted, you're going to swing that tail back in and use that to protect yourself against the Republics of the world. Right there is a great example of your accuracy. We're 9 kilometers away, and that looks like Miyogi level accuracy for some of these salvos. So those ones are a little bit better. So maybe inside of 9, you grow a little bit more accurate. But at the end of the day, this is just not an impressive campaign ship. And I swear I heard people just gushing. They couldn't wait for it to show up. And I'm just like, why would you say that? This thing is not impressive at all. All right. I think that's the first blood medal. 96,490 total damage. 80 main battery hits, 3 kills, 1 assist, 5 Citadel hits, 2 solo base caps accounting for the bulk of our XP probably. Just short of 700k silver, 11,000 ship XP, 3,000 green XP, 19,000 commander XP. Looks like at a 10 times the multiplier on the ship, so that might be why. All right, 1 medal, 3 big kills, 2654 base XP. If I can get a better or more meaningful match in Picardie, I will certainly bring it to you, but this is just my first thoughts. Basically, it is a Tier 7 Nikolai, the French version. And I say that based on the broadside and what you have to do to get those guns on target safely. All right, in a minute here, we're going to go back into the port and take a look at the ship. Honest. Unless my thing froze. In which case, we're just going to be talking here forever. All right. Milestones indicating my stupidity for buying out the campaign. We went with aiming system mod 1. I know that armament durability mod is popular for French ships, and these turrets don't have a lot of armor, but they just didn't get knocked out that much. So I left the aiming system mod on because the accuracy of the ship is so terrible. I did run the secondary mod, got it out to 10.7 for the secondaries, just not worth it. Damage control mod 2, concealment system mod 1, and of course AA guns mod 3. You could lower your main battery more, but then you would take a traverse hit, and I didn't want to do that. Secondary battery mod I don't think is worth it, so I went with AA. This ship has bad AA. All right, taking a look at the loadout, 5 charges of the repair party with our build, 2 main battery reload boosters, and 3 enhanced secondary targeting. I don't think I used one of them in this match. So keep that in mind when you build into your secondaries. We got all the epic boosters, including the epic battle booster for main battery range and movement speed, and a reduction in cooldown time. Type 9 permanent camouflage, the unique Picardie flag. All right, survivability, just 57,950 hit points and a 32% torpedo damage reduction with our build. 4 quad 305 millimeter turrets, 19.2 kilometer firing range, 22.8 second reload, 36 second turn time. HE shells, these numbers are laughable. 3325 max HE shell damage with a 15, that's right, cruiser level fire chance. AP shells 7,078 max damage. Yikes. 2 sets secondaries, the firing range 7.3, reload 5.5 seconds. Max shell damage 1,800 HE, 9% fire chance. You have 4x2 130 and a 4x4 130. Again, I felt building into the secondaries based on my one match, where I was in secondary range quite a bit, didn't really make it worth it. Both those secondaries are dual purpose, but the one thing common amongst all your AA, it is very low damage, and so that's why I put the AA mod in mod slot 4. Maneuverability 30.9 knots, you're not terribly slow. 700 meter turning circle is good. 13.4 second rudder shift time is also pretty good for a battleship in my opinion. And I would make use of that as I showed you in this match right here. Concealment, dun, dun, dun. 12.4 on the surface, so just 100 meters smaller than my concealment build Yamato. All right, Take a look at the stats. We have a 25% winning percentage and a 31% main battery accuracy. Yikes. Most of our kills with the main battery, we did get one secondary kill and one maybe from flooding or fire. I guess not. I don't know how it died. All right, 1.5 kill death ratio, so no problem killing a cruiser in there. All the rest of the stats come from that match you just watched. Hey, there's no purple here. That's terrifying. You do have a below water citadel. It is all colored blue except for the top to make it blend in with the water easier. Your bow does have an armor belt of 180 millimeters at the waterline. So use that whenever you can to bow tank, although it probably won't be worth a whole lot. Turrets and barbettes are woefully under-armored. I think just the placement is why they weren't getting knocked out. That, and we weren't fighting anyone at close range. Torpedo belt does go up the side of the ship. We're going to take that off and put the armor belt on, the case pick, and you'll see it goes up to 350, I want to say. 300, pardon me. 300 millimeter armor belt, and we'll put the torpedo belt back over it and show there's a small amount of spaced armor at the armor belt there. So make whatever benefit out of that you can. Anyway, the rest of this armor just catches on fire. I did want to point out the odd placement of the conning tower. It's like in the middle of the superstructure. I don't get that, but I'm not a ship design expert. Usually the conning tower is in the front, so you can see what's up. Anyway, that is the Picardie armor profile. Here is Aizerlane Dunkirk fully maxed out for your pleasure. Base trait Floodgate, minus 20% flooding damage. Paolo di Ravel for reload. And Andrew Cunningham for shell grouping. Maybe worth switching in A.L. Scharnhorst for dispersion. I don't know. I might try that later on. All right. As terms of the rest of the build, Flammable Cannoneer in row 1. You need that, even though you might catch on fire. Unique skill Frontal Fire, shell switching. Not really that meaningful in this ship, in my opinion. Unique French skill Megalomania, definitely needed to reduce that main battery reload. And Master Mechanic. There was Properly Meticulous out there. I don't think Properly Meticulous is worth it because of your very low armor profile, meaning your weak armor, and fight fire with fire. Anyway, that is the first look at Picardie. Again, I would consider it the French version of the Nikolai at Tier 7. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe down below.